Hello, I'm Jason Knopf, CEO of the Earthshot Prize. I'm joined today by Rachel Moriarty, Executive Director of Prize and Portfolio. We are delighted to announce the Earthshot Prize 2025 finalists.
The 15 finalists we're about to present, alongside the 60 that have come before them, will help ensure that we can stand in 2030 and see that the natural world is abundant rather than fading, that pollutants in our air and water are falling rather than rising, that waste is an opportunity rather than a contaminant, that ultimately we have given ourselves the greatest possible chance of peace and prosperity.
We're immensely proud and excited to take you through these 15 finalists. The first of our Earthshots is Revive Our Oceans. This year, we have a true triumvirate of action, simple innovation that solves big problems, getting money to places that can make a difference, and securing international commitment to one of our most audacious but desperately important global goals.
We start on home turf with UK-based finalist Matter. Its simple innovation solves the greatest cause of microplastics in our ocean, one washing machine at a time. We've all become aware of microplastics. They're not good for us, and they're definitely not good for the planet. They're in our oceans, our food, our vital organs, even in our unborn children. And the biggest source of those tiny health hazards is microplastics from our clothes and textiles. When they are made, and every time they are washed, they shed microplastics that end up in the ocean. Matter has developed Regen, a simple, affordable filter that stops the microplastics at source, in both our homes and in factories. This year, Matter launched in 30 European markets in collaboration with Bosch Siemens to incorporate filters into new washing machines, and the filter can also be retrofitted to any existing washing machine. By 2030, Matter's ambition is to deliver enough filters to capture 15,000 tonnes of microplastics.
Our second finalist is an international group of organizations who have pioneered bonds for ocean conservation. Some of the world's richest oceans lie in nations burdened by financial debt. Protecting these ocean habitats is crucial, but that debt makes it difficult for these nations to fund conservation. Bonds for ocean conservation flip that. The model is super simple. They restructure expensive debt and replace it on better terms, which unlocks significant cost savings. Those savings are then used for ocean protection. So it's debt relief, but also debt reimagined to protect the ocean we all rely on. In the Galapagos, one deal unlocked $450 million for marine conservation. And as a result, Ecuador was able to establish a 6 million hectare marine reserve. There are successes in Seychelles, Belize, Barbados, Gabon, and the Bahamas, which have proved that the model works. By 2030, this solution aims to unlock $3 billion, protecting over 1.2 billion hectares and supporting 43 million coastal people. This is finance fueling real progress.
And our third ocean finalist is the High Seas Treaty, an unprecedented international commitment that will help us protect 30% of the ocean by 2030. Sir David Attenborough told it to us straight: if we save our oceans, we save ourselves. But over 60% of our oceans lie in the high seas. These are waters that belong to no one, and right now are protected by no one. Without safeguarding them, our global goals to protect 30% of the planet by 2030 will be impossible. The cost would be immense to our planet, our food security, our climate, and our health. That's why the High Seas Treaty is so groundbreaking. Signed in 2023 after decades of advocacy and diplomacy, it reached the critical threshold of 60 ratifications last week, and more continue to roll in, allowing it to enter into force in early 2026. It's the first international agreement that establishes a legal framework to protect the high seas through governance and marine protected areas, protecting them from overfishing and allowing them to regenerate. This was achieved by a global coalition of countries, scientists, diplomats, NGOs, and organisations including the High Seas Alliance. This is global cooperation at its best, protecting the blue heart of our planet and securing a more resilient future for us all.
We know that stopping climate change means eliminating fossil fuels, but we also know that many countries and communities are already facing its extreme impacts today. That's why the Fix Our Climate category this year highlights how adaptation and leadership at the community level are as vital as any breakthrough technology. We have a small island country making a huge impact on the global stage, an NGO in one of the most climate vulnerable countries in the world, and a renewable energy business creating jobs in the American Rust Belt and powering innovation at the same time.
Our first finalist in this category is a large ocean state, Barbados. It's responsible for just 0.01% of global greenhouse gas emissions, yet it is on the climate frontline, with lives and livelihoods increasingly under threat. Across the Caribbean, unchecked climate impacts could cost $22 billion a year by 2050. Barbados isn't waiting to be rescued. Under the stewardship of Prime Minister Mia Mottley, it is standing up for the billions of people impacted by climate change worldwide and reshaping the foundations of global diplomacy. Its flagship Bridgetown initiative has reshaped international finance to ensure capital flows to countries effectively so that they can build climate resilience, adaptation, and economic stability. Barbados is also walking the walk, moving to become fossil fuel-free by 2030. Barbados may be small in landmass, but its leadership as a large ocean state is making huge impact on the global stage. It's proving that courage, clarity, and conviction can drive a new era of climate leadership.
Our next finalist, Forum Energy, is leading a revolution in renewables. Every day, billions of people need power. Renewable energy can provide it, but only if we can store the energy from the sun and wind when they're abundant and use it when they're not. Forum's iron-air batteries can store energy for multiple days, guaranteeing reliable, independent, and affordable energy for all. Unlike lithium, the iron in these batteries is abundant, making them cost-effective, competitive with fossil fuels, and better for the planet. The batteries can be used individually by businesses or scaled into vast green power grids for cities, propelling us toward a future where energy is cheap and available for everyone. At the heart of this innovation is Forum's first high-volume battery factory in Weirton, West Virginia. Built in just 1 year, it is already creating more than 400 high-paying manufacturing jobs. It's retraining a generation of skilled workers from shuttered steel plants and driving economic growth. It's the rust from the iron that is powering Forum's batteries. That means that the American Rust Belt is quite literally powering the future of energy production.
Our final finalist in the Fix Our Climate category is NGO Friendship in Bangladesh, one of the most climate vulnerable countries in the world. Here, climate change is not a future threat, but a daily reality. With 50 million people living so close to sea level that they are constantly at risk of flooding and extreme weather, climate change is disrupting schooling, livelihoods, health, and even threatening lives. Runa Khan founded Friendship to meet these challenges with a raft of solutions that are as practical as they are visionary. Her organisation serves 7.5 million people in Bangladesh every year with its holistic approach to a range of issues, from restoring mangrove forests to defend against cyclones, salinity and erosion, to floating hospitals that bring healthcare to remote river communities, to schools that are designed to be dismantled ahead of disasters, increasing graduation rates and ensuring that children don't sacrifice their education. Runa's approach leverages the skills of local people to restore ecosystems, improve health, and create economic opportunity. Friendship isn't just aid, it is building resilience into every facet of their lives, equipping communities for whatever they may face next. It's proving that those who once seemed most vulnerable can in fact lead the way.
The solutions in our Build a Waste-Free World category seek to remedy the root cause of waste, changing behavior and uprooting our understanding of what new means, from buildings to clothes to mobile phones.
We're starting with the world's first upcycled skyscraper, Quay Quarter Tower. All over the world, thousands of office towers built in the 20th century are reaching the end of their lifespans. These towers were once beacons of progress, but now face demolition, a process that releases huge amounts of carbon and leads to over 40% of global waste, unless we do things differently. Quay Quarter Tower in Sydney, Australia is a glimpse into what's possible. Instead of tearing the building down, a visionary coalition of architects, engineers, building contractors and developers chose to transform Quay Quarter Tower, retaining 65% of its original structure and 98% of its core. The result is a striking new tower with world-class views, cutting-edge design with twice the floor space, and a fraction of the environmental footprint. This transformation has extended the building's life by decades, while dramatically improving its environmental impact, proving that regeneration can replace destruction. They have also given the world a blueprint with which to redefine urban growth. Similar projects are now being inspired all around the world. The future of our cities doesn't have to be built from scratch. It can be rebuilt better.
The next finalist takes us to Lagos, where the future of fashion is being reimagined. Today, consumers buy around 60% more clothing than they did 20 years ago, but keep each piece for half as long. Meanwhile, less than 1% of textiles are recycled into new garments. This cycle of waste is driving devastating environmental consequences. In response, Africa is leading the way. As the continent's largest and most influential fashion week, Lagos Fashion Week is uniquely positioned to reshape the fashion industry, embedding sustainability and circularity at the heart of the fashion supply chain and transforming how designers think, create, and produce. Every designer who wants to show at Lagos Fashion Week must prove that they use sustainable methods, considering the types of materials used, where those materials are sourced, and labor conditions. By holding designers accountable to these standards and running skills programs to give them the tools they need, they have shaped brand behavior year-round. Lagos Fashion Week is proving that fashion can create jobs, drive economies, and make people look and feel great without damaging the environment. They've also shown that a better world can come from a sketchbook, not just from a laboratory or a government building.
The third finalist in the Build a Waste-Free World category is ATRenew, based in China. ATRenew is changing how the world uses and discards electronic devices. With global e-waste projected to rise to 82 million tonnes annually by 2030, its mission is critical. ATRenew makes it easy for people to trade in old phones, laptops, and smartwatches, allowing those devices to have a second, third, even fourth life. Scale and speed differentiate ATRenew from other electronic trade-in services. It uses AI to inspect, grade, and price up to 100,000 devices daily. In the last 5 years, it has processed 150 million devices, equivalent to the total number of smartphones in the UK and France combined. Today, the average life of a mobile phone is 2 years. ATRenew is leading a global movement where second-hand becomes first choice by making it easy, affordable, and desirable to trade in and buy second-hand devices. The result is a world where every traded-in phone becomes a small but powerful act of saving the planet.
For the first time in our Clean Our Air category, we have chosen 2 cities and 1 state. This is because air pollution is complex and most acute in the world's most populated areas. It's tied to how cities are run and how people live. In more than 40% of cities around the globe, pollution levels are 7 times higher than the WHO's safe limit. These solutions are not just improving air quality, they're reshaping how cities and governments think about public health and local economies. If these ideas are replicated, they can help millions of people breathe cleaner air.
I'd like to introduce you to the city of Guangzhou in southern China. With nearly 24 million residents, this major city is setting a global benchmark in clean urban transport. Since 2017, the Guangzhou Public Transport Company, with the support of the municipal government, has electrified the city's entire bus fleet, with 12,000 electric buses and approximately 10,000 electric taxis. This transformation has happened at an unprecedented speed, dramatically cutting emissions and improving air quality. But Guangzhou's innovation goes further. Old bus batteries are now being utilised for solar and wind energy grid storage, ensuring that clean transport also supports clean energy. Guangzhou has become a living laboratory for sustainable transport, showing how bold policy, collaboration and investment can deliver cleaner air and healthier cities.
Next is the City of Bogotá, Colombia's capital, and home to 7.9 million people. Bogotá has long struggled with pollution from diesel public buses, freight trucks, and dust from unpaved roads. And because it is surrounded by mountains, this pollution becomes trapped in the city. But Bogotá has shown that change is possible. Since 2018, the city has cut air pollution by 24%, even as its population has grown. By redesigning how people move around, city leaders expanded clean public transport with one of the world's largest electric bus fleets. They introduced car-free corridors to cut reliance on private vehicles. And they created the city's first urban zone for clean air, combining cleaner freight, greener streets, and safer walking and cycling routes in one of Bogotá's most polluted areas. Healthier citizens, faster commutes, and more active lifestyles. Bogotá proves that smart and long-term policy can rewire a city for the future, creating a model of people-first leadership for cities worldwide.
Lastly, we turn to Gujarat, a major state located in Western India and a global economic success story, where hundreds of factories make things that end up all over the world. It's put in place a simple and effective solution that allows businesses to continue thriving while reducing air pollution. Gujarat has pioneered an emissions trading scheme that puts a limit on how much each factory can emit, with a total cap across the state to create cleaner air for its citizens. If a business emits less than its limit, it can trade its unused allowance to another that needs it. In simple terms, if you cut your pollution, you can make more money. This gives companies flexibility while rewarding them financially for lowering their emissions. The scheme has been piloted with resounding success by Surat, a major commercial hub and the second largest city in Gujarat, which has managed to reduce air pollution and particularly harmful particulate matter by between 20 and 30%. Ahmedabad, Gujarat's largest city, has followed suit, and there are ongoing discussions to roll it out across India, an incredibly significant move in the world's most populated country. This makes the scheme not only environmentally effective and economically efficient, but also replicable across the whole globe, especially across fast-growing economies in the global south.
Nature is one of our most powerful allies in fighting climate change. But to let it do that, we must rethink how we finance, protect, and restore it. Across the world, new models are emerging that treat nature not as a cost, but as a solution, where restoration generates returns, where indigenous leadership drives long-term stewardship, and where financial mechanisms rival the same level and security and responsibility as pension funds. Our final three finalists we're about to introduce are leading the charge, making it more valuable to protect and restore nature than to destroy it.
First, ReGreen, an extraordinary Brazil-based tech startup tackling deforestation. Brazil's Atlantic forest is one of the richest natural areas on Earth, but only 12% of it is left. It's home to over 150 million people, countless unique species, and huge capacity to absorb carbon. But right now, destruction is more profitable than preservation. ReGreen is changing that. Using AI and satellite data, they identify degraded land with the greatest potential in seconds, and then restore it with diverse native species. They're making forest restoration financially viable by generating revenue from high-quality carbon credits and sustainable timber. Already operating across 30,000 hectares across 4 Brazilian states, they aim to plant 65 million seedlings by 2032. It is showing us what smart forest restoration looks like.
Next, Tenure Facility, which is transforming how we protect the world's most biodiverse lands. Although indigenous peoples, Afro-descendant peoples, and local communities manage over half the world's land, their ownership is often not legally recognized or respected. The lack of legal recognition leaves land vulnerable to deforestation and the loss of livelihoods. Tenure Facility is changing that. By combining legal support with direct funding, it helps indigenous communities secure land rights and long-term stewardship. Because without legal ownership, even the best conservation efforts can be undone. Already operating across 20 countries and protecting over 34 million hectares, which is an area the size of Germany, Tenure Facility is proving that when indigenous communities lead, nature thrives. And this is just the beginning. We have a powerful opportunity to back the people who know these lands the best. With the right support, this model can unlock a global wave of action, securing land, protecting livelihoods, and restoring ecosystems for generations to come.
The last finalist in our Protect and Restore Nature category is the Tropical Forest Forever Facility. Led by the Brazilian government, This is the most ambitious forest finance initiative the world has ever seen, making preservation more valuable than destruction. For decades, tropical forests, which are essential to the planet's health, have been lost at an alarming rate. The missing piece has been a financial model that works for the forests. This facility offers that solution by building a $125 billion global investment fund to provide permanent income to rainforest nations to protect their forests. This isn't aid. It's a market-based strategy that delivers long-term income to governments while generating returns for investors. Launching at COP30 in November, TFFF could safeguard over 1 billion hectares of forest by 2030. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to flip the script, to make living forests more valuable than dead ones, and to unlock a historic shift in global finance that protects nature for generations to come.
These are the Earthshot Prize 2025 finalists. We urge you to explore their work, be inspired by their impact, and share their stories. Our 5 Earthshots are not just targets. If we back these finalists, we can make them a reality.